Hello, hello. Just getting a few things set up over here, and then we will kick it off. Uh-oh. Looks like my camera's a little off. Let me fix that real quick. I recently just switched from OBS to Streamlabs OBS, so still trying to figure out a few things here. I had it all set up the other day, but we've been messing around with the camera a bunch for some Jackbox game nights. Have any of y'all been doing game nights over Zoom or Discord or anything? It's a good way to socialize and be socially distant at the same time. Let's see.
Can you hear my heartbeat calling? Can you feel the love we're falling? Just take my hand and take me home tonight. Throwing caution to the wind. I'll take a chance and let you in. Just take my hand and take me home tonight. We defeat all impossibilities. Yeah, you and me. We'll take our hearts and run free into the wild. Into the
Alright, I give up. We'll figure it out another day. All I care about today is writing some code. So let's get that done. All right, so today what we want to focus on, so just a little overview. I am working with some friends in Australia on building a pet health tracking app. Basically, the inspiration for this is that our dog Cheyenne has been diagnosed with cups, which is a chronic illness that results in ulcers in her mouth. And the first year we had her, she was completely healthy, and then the second year, after actually we moved homes and some other things changed, some other changes in her life, she started having these symptoms. And the doctors basically said, "Oh, she has cups. We're gonna remove all of her teeth." Or that's what they recommend doing. And I was like, well, our dog's only 2.5 years old. That doesn't seem right. And the fact that this has happened randomly, like, something feels wrong about this. So let's try to figure out what's actually wrong with her. So anytime we start to notice her getting sick, we typically like open notes on our phone and add some notes and maybe take some pictures. Then we go to the doctor and they'd ask us what the symptoms were and when they start happening. It's like, oh wait, let me scroll through my phone. Oh wait, when was this? Oh, I don't remember. I didn't write the date down. Oh, what was that photo? I remember I took a perfect photo, but I don't remember which one of these 25 different photos, or the perfect video, and I don't know which, 2 seconds in this, hour of footage I have is good. So we want to make our lives easier, and so we decided we wanted to build an app to help us do that. And then we talked to our friends in Australia, and one of them, Brian, he is a vet, and he was super into this idea, and so we've been working together. We have shipped a beta based off of something called Firebase, and it's all serverless and cloud. It's really cool to get up and get going with that, but it's been problematic since neither of us are really experts in it, and the mental model didn't really map to us. So instead, we decided to rewrite our whole backend using Django REST framework, so in Python. And we've gotten to a point where that's kind of feature locked for our initial relaunch, and now we need to update the front end to actually talk to the database and do what we want to do. And as part of that, we're actually oh, hi Dahlia Coast, thanks for tuning in, I appreciate it. And hello the other viewers, thank you all for watching. So yeah, we've rewritten the back end. It's feature locked. We've been banging on it, and now as part of updating the front end to speak to our new back end, we're also cleaning up the UI. And today, actually, our professional designer Arissa did this great mock-up in Figma for us, so we can kind of zoom out and look at. Our original redesign was going to be this over here. And we were worried that this overcomplicated the core loop of the app. So basically, I noticed my dog is doing something funny, and I immediately want to write some notes down and take a picture and be done. And then, maybe if I have time, I'll tag it or add a category or some other sort of classification. But at the end of the day, the most important things are adding a note and taking a picture or video. And so we thought this category first approach was probably a little too clunky. And also from a code complexity standpoint, there's just more stuff here. More CSS to write, more things to take into account. So Rissa went back to the drawing board, studied Twitter and Instagram and a couple other apps to see what they were doing. And I wish I could put this at 0% volume. Sorry. But I also went back to the drawing board, studied some other apps, and then came up with this, which is heavily inspired by Twitter. So we're going to be working on building this out today. And we can't, because this is a web app, a progressive web app, we don't have access to all the cool things that you can do with a native app. So in this case, these are recent photos you took as a shortcut to be able to add those to the event. So we're not going to be able to add that feature. But we should be able to add the taking a picture. Technically, we don't have tagging, but we have a couple of categories, so we could maybe do that. But the focus today is just building this general form. Cool, huh? Sounds good. Let's do it. Easy peasy, right? All right. So one thing I like to do at the beginning of a workday is just close everything out. I don't know. Let's start fresh. And we are using Quasar. It's a VueJS powered framework. So to get our dev server up and running, we're gonna do Quasar dev. And this is a Webpack dev server, so it's not like our actual backend. This is just what builds our code on the fly for the front end. While we wait for this to build, how's everyone's Easter going, if you celebrate that, or how's your Sunday going, or Monday if you're in Australia? Might have a couple other projects running. Let me make sure that they're not actively running servers right now. Nope. Cool. Anyone do any Easter egg hunting in their backyard? Away, socially distant from your neighbors? I need to find a better... I have ADD and I really enjoy... It helps me focus when I have like background noise. But I don't like that Pretzel spams my chat. Okay, so this is the app that we have today. So we're gonna log in. We have a test user. His name is Topcat. All right. That does not look right. Oh, interesting. So we have cores configured on our server that prevents anyone from hitting our backend. So something on my machine is currently running on the port that we normally run on. Let's see if we can find out what that is. It's probably a version of this app. It's already running. No? Huh. What is going on? Oh, yeah. All right. Take two. So we will wait for that to build. We're going to be working on the add event screen, which I believe is called the event wizard. So in Control E in VS Code brings up the file search. And so we can do, if I just type wizard or event, you can see it's right here. So I'll hit enter to select that. And then boom, this is what we're going to be working on today. So we have a bunch of code in here, which is kind of like no longer relevant in this mockup. So one of the things that we were doing for the previous iteration of the UI is we were trying to map categories to a color and an icon and all this other kind of stuff. So here we have this map where we basically say that that event label generic maps to the color primary to icon note underscore add and the text label of the note. And then it has a value of whatever this enum is. So, and we had a problem here where how we were doing categories and subcategories kind of changed, and it kind of broke everything. So we should just get rid of it all because we're not going to use it anymore. All right, let's now that our server's back up and running, let's log back in. Liar. Yes. Cool. So I have two pets, Berton and Saint Bujo. But we don't really care about that right now. We just want to care about adding a new event, and then let's get the mobile UI because that's what our focus is. So this is the UI that we this is a version of the UI that's a kind of a hybrid between what's currently out in the world that you can use today and the mockups, the version 1 of the new UI by Arissa. So now today we get to delete a bunch of code and simplify all this, which is going to be great. So I think the first thing I want to do here is double check. Just double checking work I did last week. So basically, last week when I worked on this, I added support in our create pet event for these generic event labels, which I think for today we're just gonna ignore. We're not gonna pass anything in there. So yeah. And so let's go back and just focus on our wizard. So I think we can just delete all this. Yeah, let's just delete all this. Let's just clean this up because we're not using any of this stuff. Cool. I'm not using this. We're not using step. So right now our backend only allows one image per event. So we'll just keep these. We need the note. Oh, what up, T-Tux? Thanks for the follow, buddy. Appreciate it. Gappa. Thanks for tuning in. I am not drunk, but I did mess everything up. Hence the literal green screen behind me. I switched from OBS to Streamlabs OBS, and I just haven't gotten around to configuring everything. Oh. For the last night? Hold on, my wife just texted me a photo. Oh, of her delicious bread. My wife is baking bread right now, if you can see that. We are those people in the pandemic. The bread bakers. You saw nothing but glare? Man. Alright. Let's try this again. You can see some bread, right? I see some bread. Yeah, much better, much better. Are you trying to bake bread at all, T-Tox? No. It's hard to get a hold of yeast and flour these days, so. gotta find creative ways to use it. We our realtor sends us a box of frozen croissants every year, and it's nice. Um, it's more croissants than the two of us could ever eat, and so we baked those the other day, and then every time I want to eat them, I bake them again, and then I decided we have extra chocolate chips from when we made chocolate chip banana bread. So I'll put some chocolate chips on top of it. We have like extra doughy croissants that we didn't cook long enough, and then so I'll put it on top, put it in the oven for like 5 minutes at 350, and then take it and fold it in half and make a chocolate croissant sandwich. So good. Ooh, sounds delicious. I wonder what we're doing for dinner tonight. We had some Brazilian cheese bread for lunch today. So good. So good. All right, so what other code can we delete? Bread is ready. Is it delicious? On a scale of amazing to incredible, how good is it? Oh, nice. Yeah, stay home, be responsible, don't get sick. Still needs to cool down. So then it's not ready. You are a liar, ma'am. Too hot to handle. Well, Dahlia Coast is a Targaryen, so she could probably eat it right now. But, you know. All right, I want to delete all these awesome things I don't use anymore. So we're going to delete the rating model. We're going to delete selected action. We should just bye. Goodbye. Don't need that method anymore. Boom. Don't need this anymore. Too hot to handle. What else do we want to get rid of? Oh, we don't. So we have submit event and submit event DRF Django REST framework. So this is the new. Thanks for tuning in, T Talks. Appreciate it, buddy. Have a great rest of the day. So we don't need this duplicated thing anymore. So we'll just get rid of that. Everything here we need. Yeah, looks good. On file change we need. Yep. We do not need this. But that was a good, just real quick what this is. So created here is a view lifecycle hook. So when this component, basically this whole page, when this component gets created, what we do is we assign these enums to something, to variables that we can reference in the templates themselves, but we don't actually need them to be reactive, so we don't want to define them in this data property up here. Everything in this data property is reactive, and that's, in this case, we just need to access just these static values. So this is a more performant way to do that. So we will probably just delete this whole created hook. Cool. Wow, everything is so much cleaner already. I love it. And then we don't really need... Yeah, you're angry, aren't you? We don't really need a lot of this stuff anymore. So we still need a simple date picker. That's what this is. We don't need these steps. One thing I want to check real quick. It's the placeholder tech that Twitter uses. What's happening? Cool. Thank you, Epic Games. All right. So I think we just pretty much want to get rid of all this. Is really what it comes down to. Clean up, everybody, everywhere. I'm going to save this VIF because basically if someone gets this page and they do not have a pet, we want to make sure we prompt them to create a pet. Oops. So VIF, this is view syntax here. And then it's evaluating these as JavaScript variables. So if there's a current pet and that current pet has a name, then we'll implement the mockup. Otherwise, we will prompt them to add a pet. Cool. So let's see here. Let's check out what Quasar gives us for forms. Oops. My headset turns off and it's annoying. Like, God, why is it so quiet in here all of a sudden? So Quasar has a bunch of cool things that help us out. Oops, not what I wanted. View components. Form components, yeah, this is what we want. So they have all these different text fields. Cheyenne is lethargic. Her breath smells metallic. She looked in pain while eating. Alright, this is a good, we'll just save this away real quick as like a little test comment. It's cool that they have, I mean, this is similar to the avatar in the comment there. But I think we don't want this. Oh, text area, this is what I was looking for. Autogrow, I like that, yeah. So can we do an autogrow text area with a prefix? So this is kind of interesting, I think I like this. So let's look at their code. I assume we can do a prepend. We don't need So what do we got going on? So when I deleted all that code, there's some code left over. It needs cleanup. Cool. So I did a regex here. So I'm searching for this character is the end of the line character. And it looks like we only have one. And we don't need to pass in anything here. Okay, so this is a little bit closer to what we're looking for. So let's get Cheyenne, or whatever pet our default pet is. Computed current pet. What So we have the view dev tools. And oops, did a little too much. So we can go and inspect our component. So this event wizard page. And then we can look at our different objects here that we have. So we have this computed current pet, St. Bujo. And so current pet.pet image. So that's what we're gonna use for our little avatar in our text box. Oops. Current pet, is that what it was? Current pet, yep. Dot pet image. So right now this is not going to work because what's going on is this is taking the literal string here, applying to source. What we want is this to be interpreted by JavaScript. So we're going to do this colon here, which is a view shortcut for vbind source. And then we should see the pet avatar here. Boom. It's pretty cool. And then can I type here? That is not what I typed. What? What happened here? What is going on? What? What? I am so confused. Okay. So Can't wait to try some Dahlia Kuss bread. I think I can smell it. What? I can only type the letter E apparently. Oh, because it's type number. I still don't know why. Oh, because exponents, I guess. Yay! That is neato. I thought this was supposed to grow. Or do I need it? Cool. Auto grow. So we got our Q input here. Auto grow. Placeholder. Let's set some placeholder text. So I'm gonna put Shane's name in there, or our dog's name in there. How is current pet dot name? Saint Bujo. Cool. So we have our date picker, which we can swipe. We have our text box. And what else do we need? So we need our add an image. And I'm not spending a bunch of time styling this stuff. Like right now, let's just get the functionality, and then we can go back and like increase the avatar size, make this box maybe bigger by default. There's a bunch of things we can do. But this is a good place to start. So we wanted to add Q button. Buttons, perfect. Thank you, Quasar. Zoom in a little bit on here. So we want I think something like this. So let's try. Do I have a camera icon somewhere? Or can I see what icon she's using? Oh, interesting. So Rissa has installed plugins, and I would have assumed I would have the same plugins, but I guess it doesn't work that way. So I think it's material icons are our default. Yeah. So let's do icon camera. See what that does. Looks like Aperture Labs. Any Portal fans out there? Not quite what we're going for. Camera. Photo camera. Photo camera. Cool. So then, ideally, oh. I think I deleted some code I need. So let's go look at our diff here. I should be committing to get more frequently, and that way it's a little bit easier to roll back changes. So all this image stuff, probably want to save. So I wonder if I can do a Q button that is of type file. Let's just try this. When I save, it auto formats for me. I use something called Prettier. Keeps a consistent style. So something is angry. So in theory, both these buttons will do the same thing. So let's check that out. And on a phone, this will actually bring up the camera UI, which is really neat. So let's see. Oops. So I wonder if, so they have this file picker, but I don't necessarily want this. Yeah, this is definitely not what I want. So let's go back to the Q button and see. Do they allow us to essentially wrap an input? Or what I could do is that clicking this button triggers the... Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna have to do. So basically we're gonna have to like map this button press to this input. So we don't need to do this. So Vue allows us to create these things called refs, or references to DOM elements, and then we can directly reference that specific element. So it's kind of an old school, like how you do things in jQuery land that you don't normally do in Vue, but there's certain instances that we need to. So in theory, we could do .click. I don't know. VueJS.org. Let's go. So refs. So this is singular, but then accessing it is plural. Let's see what the internet has to say. Alright, so I think this is up the alley of what we want to do. Let's, oops. So, one thing to always check is if you have console errors, because your app's going to break in ways that you don't necessarily understand. Oh, hey! Yes! Sweet. That is awesome. So clicking this. Awesome. So this is now attached to this, and we just need to hide this now. So aria hidden. Does Quasar have a hidden concept? So we can try this. I don't know if it sets the... We probably still need to do the aria hidden equals true. So basically aria hidden equals true is making sure screen readers don't read this, because we want this to be hidden. Aria dash hidden true. So now that file input's gone. Let's see what happens. Cool. So the file input used to be down here. Used to have the file name and all that jazz. So that's all gone. So we probably want to style this some, but that is something for another day. So you can write text. You can take a picture. Now we just need a way to submit it. So we'll just do another Q button. A click handler. So on click, this is what this at click equals. We're gonna do like submit event DRF. This mounted call I have, I'm going to change this to created. So it just happens sooner in the life cycle. Okay, so in theory, so all we need, and then so we pass in the note, we pass in the current pet, we hard code to event type generic, which is fine for now, and then we pass in an image file. And we pass in null. Select a date. Alright, I think that's what we want. So let's see what happens. I like to watch the network requests. Cool. And then we'll add a picture. We'll add a donate to me picture. Yeah, beautiful. Alright, submit. So it looks like it's submitted. Sweet. That is amazing. So we need to redirect or do something when you add the event. So let's double check. I thought I had something that handled that. Okay. So we'll do when this finishes, we will redirect you to the root, which is the calendar. And then in theory, the event should show up here, but we have some bugs. Yeah, so we have some bugs on this page, which we'll have to fix. Is there anything else? So I guess we can validate. I'm not going to add a picture this time. No. So it worked, but we didn't redirect like we were hoping to. And we didn't pass the timestamp. Maybe there's a chance that we were reading cached information. Yes, I do these in other places. So let's just refresh, make sure nothing's broken. do I get redirected? Yay! The redirect worked. Awesome. So on our next edition of Building PetsBeHonest, we will work on updating the calendar to properly show the events. They are correctly being loaded if we go and look at the component. So we look at page calendar here, and at least in our VueJS data store, we should be able to see them. Oh, I guess not. Oh, what's going on there? Okay, maybe because we have these errors, a bunch of that, we're actually not making those calls. So we'll have to figure that out. But that will be for next time. Thank you all for tuning in today. Just kind of to review what all we did. Today we were working on PetsBeHonest, which is a pet health tracking app. The backend has been rewritten in Django REST framework, so now we're updating the front end, which is Quasar, a Vue-based component library. We're hooking that up to the Django backend, and in that process, we're doing a little bit of a redesign based off of some Figma drawings that Arissa's done. So this is the Figma drawing we worked on today. Oh my god, how do I move? There we go. And so today we deleted a bunch of code and then got kind of this initial core loop, which we can see when we go here. So we didn't do any styling or anything special, just took the basic elements as Quasar provides them to us and make sure they worked. Just to review what those are. So we have a Q input here. It auto grows, so as we type, it should automatically expand for us. Yep. And then it has a slot for the prepend. So we prepended this avatar, which is our pet's image. And then underneath we have this button that uses the photo camera icon. And then we did some magic to map this button to a native file input, so that when we click on this button using this @click handler, it actually clicks on this image input, which is this thing here. And then this image input, oh sorry, this is the image preview, my bad, sorry. This image input, it is hidden, and it's also hidden from screen readers. So this is basically just used kind of secretly behind the scenes. And what we should really do is take this and make a component out of it, so we can reuse it throughout our code base. So maybe it's something that we clean up next time. And what's really neat about this input, using the except equals image / star on a mobile device, this is going to open the native file picker / camera. So it's a really good experience for mobile users. And then we have this button here, Q button, and when you click it, we call the submit event drf event, which was already written before today. Delete this because we don't use it. And so we pass into the create pet event a note, the current pet ID, that it's a generic event, a reference to the image file, and then whatever the selected date is. Which I don't know if that's hooked up correctly, so we'll need to... Yeah, so it should be good. Cool. And now we can delete this, because we don't need it. And we are good to go, so let's make sure everything is committed. This is the file that we touched today. Made a lot of changes. We deleted a ton of code, which just feels great. All this stuff we don't need anymore. It's wonderful. And so everything is a lot simpler now, which is great. And cool. We'll push that. And then I think this change we probably need to check into. No, we'll worry about this another day. Awesome. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate your support. Feel free to hit me up on Facebook or Twitter, SPTonJohn on Twitter, or post in chat. By next time I stream, I'll have my green screen actually working correctly and some other things better configured. Thanks for bearing with me today. Much appreciated. Make sure you stay safe out there. Stay home, be socially distant. If you have to go out in the world, wear a mask, wear gloves, wash your hands for 20 seconds. All the different techniques. Gotta get every nook and cranny there. But thank you all so much, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Woohoo! Thanks, Ryan. Cheers, buddy.